given outside this period is given out of bounds. I would not attract the quizmaster's sympathy. Again, depending on my judgment of the legitimacy of the answer which has been given to the quizmaster's question, I reserve a certain prerogative, you understand, to award less than the maximum number of points available on any occasion, you understand, depending upon my consideration of the righteousness, of the propriety of the answer. I reserve the right, which cannot be taken away from me, to reduce the number of points available to you. Now, in as much as you sit in pairs, I think that you have a duty to collaborate, to put your heads together. You understand? Have conference, you know, it's a symbiotic engagement. So you put your heads together and decide what answer to put forward. And I think that to avoid the prevalence of chaos, only one of your number after the conference would have the obligation to deliver the answer to the quizmaster's question, you understand? So that both of you do not at the same time, you know, try, as it were, to put forward, you know, answers which would create obvious confusion. So you enter into conference, and then only one mental appointment. This momentous appointment.
1843.
It is correct. 3 points. 1943. Wenchi, thank you. Now, upon Senior High School, listen. Now, the former British colonies in West Africa underwent several territorial and administrative formations. Such political arrangements as were evolved since the era of company rule involved crown takeover of the properties of British merchants. Now, the return of such possessions to the companies, subsequent annexation, various amalgamations of the 4 colonies, and dissolutions of the United Governments. Now, you will name the 4 colonies in question here. The 4 colonies in this context. All the 4. Is it Apam? Apam.
Gold Coast Colony.
Apam, 10
Gold
seconds.
Coast Colony.
Apam, 10 seconds and no more. Damongo for 1 point, pursuant to the rules of the contest. 10 seconds. Strict schedule of 10 seconds.
Uganda.
Is it Damongo?
Uganda.
Uganda sealed everything.
Uganda.
You could not proceed after Uganda in any case. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Dominic, 1 point if you succeed.
The Gold Coast Crown Colony, the Ashanti, Northern Protectorate, the Transvolta Togoland.
It appears we took this matter at a certain tangent. It's an oblique tangent. Maybe you did not comprehend the tenets of the question. Right.
Gold Coast Colony, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia.
It is there. It is there. So I surmise you actually comprehended immaculately, you know, what the quizmaster wanted. You understand? Gold Coast, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. Ashanti, the Northern Territory, is in another compartment altogether. Now listen, again, it's your turn for 3 points. The Anglo-Ashanti Wars were conflicts between the Ashanti Empire and the Akan interior of the Gold Coast, now Ghana, and the British in the 19th century. The first war between 1823 and 1831, seen by the British as part of their anti-slavery campaign, saw the British suffer a defeat. Now, the Second War, 1863 to 1864, ended in a stalemate. How many times did Anglo-Ashanti Wars occur?
4.
4 is correct. 4 is correct. You understand? And so our palm is yours. This time on the first level, well, 3 points if you succeed. Listen, again, with a cocked ear. Now, identify the Asantehene who was overthrown in the 1896 Anglo-Asante War. There was this Asantehene overthrown. It was not a coup d'etat, but a war. Yet he was overthrown.
Kofi Kakari.
Kofi Kakari was not the chief. Is this it? Osebonsu. He's conspicuous by his absence here. Yes. Apam. Sorry. Damongo.
Prempeh the first.
Prempeh the first. Correct what you said. Prempeh the first. You understand? Not Karakari, but Prempeh the first. You see, the Asante War of 1806 to 1807, when an Asantehene charged some people from Asen for robbery of graves. Now, the Fante gave refuge to the accused, and a British agent representing the African Company of Merchants sheltered the accused. These accused grave robbers in the forts in Cape Coast. Now, name the Asantehene who made these charges. Damongo. Which Asantehene made these charges against these individuals, these apparent villains, you know, who had been robbing graves? Yes, St. Dominic. No, I'm afraid. Yes, your turn. Wenchi.
Prempeh the first.
Oh, Prempeh, he's left the sea now. I want him to go. Prempeh has left. He has left. Apam.
Osebonsu.
Oh, Osebonsu. Now that you have scored this one, as I indicated, it's for a bonus point of 1. And so, having made 1, you have the right for 3 now. Listen. Now, the third Anglo-Asante War lasted 1873 to 1874. In 1871, the British purchased the Dutch coast from the Dutch, including Elmina, which was claimed by the Ashantis. Now, concerned that they would no longer have access, to the sea except through British ports, the Ashanti invaded the new British protectorate, taking European missionaries as hostages. A certain British led 2,500 British troops and several thousand West Indian and West and African troops, including some Fantis anyway, to fight against the Ashantis. Name the British military officer in the context here.
Sir Garnet Wolseley.
Sorry?
Sir Garnet Wolseley.
Sir Garnet Wolseley. Sir Garnet Wolseley. Yes, and that was Damongo, not so. Apam. So you have 3 points. Now, 3 points, Damongo. Listen. Now, following the devastating effects of the Anglo-Asante Wars, the two sides signed a treaty in July 1874 to end the war. Now, name this treaty. How was this treaty christened? Damongo.
The Treaty of Formina.
Sorry?
The Treaty of Formina.
The Treaty of Formina, 3 points. The Treaty of Formina, 3 points. The opportunity now, yes, within the domain of St. Dominic Senior High School. Listen to this one. The Treaty of Formina, as he has declared, required the Asantis to pay an indemnity of gold and give up claims to Elmina and to earn all payments from the British for the use of forts. Declared the quantity of gold which was to be paid as indemnity in this context. How much?
65,000 ounces of gold.
The numerical the number is not congruent with righteousness here. So, you understand? It's not in consonant, it's not concordant. So, if we say here, Wenchi,
50,000 ounces of gold.
which ounce? Ounces.
Ounces.
It is correct. 50,000, you understand? A whopping 50,000, you understand? It was tremendous, it was so colossal. Now, this is, and it's a quotation, so listen carefully. I think it's still Wenchi. This is a historic day, and indeed it is. The result of the passage of this bill through Parliament, should it be passed, will be that we shall all hail the first of the British dependent territories in tropical Africa to attain full self-government as a sovereign and independent nation. The introduction of the bill marked the last stage in a process which started over a century ago. Up to the early part of the 19th century, English trade with the Gold Coast was conducted by a series of companies chartered by the king or set up by acts of parliament. Now, this was part of the contents of a certain bill. You understand? It formed a component of a bill. What bill is an issue here? Who is it? Apam?
The Independent Act Bill.
Who is talking?
Say, Wenchi.
Wenchi?
Yes. The Independent Act of 1957.
I said bill, I didn't go to act.
The bond of 1844.
No, please don't go there. Put your hand together. Put your hand together. But I think that, as I indicated, I would reduce the points available. You understand? You don't have 3 but 2. It was not an act, a bill. I understand? A bill. You understand? Yes. It's an irrevocable prerogative vested remarkably in the Quizmaster. And I will exercise it. You understand? The Ghana Independence Bill, 2 points out of 3. Now listen, Damongo. Oh, Apam again.
Yes, it's Apam. Yes,
Apam.
Apam, yeah.
Now, Apam, the Ghana Independence Bill, as captured in the Hansard of 11th December 1956, volume 562, order for second reading, Queen's consent on behalf of the Crown and so on, signed 3:39 p.m., was moved by the Under-Secretary of State for Commonwealth Relations. What was his name? It was moved, you know, so those of you who intend to go to Parliament, there's this kind of practice which is available on the floor of Parliament. You move the motion. You understand? He moved it. The Under-Secretary of State for Commonwealth. Oh, la la. Yes, this is Dominic. Damogo, sorry. Oliver Littleton. Where did you get that name from? Yes.
Lennox Boyd.
Lennox Boyd? Yes, within the context of politics in Africa, he's there, but I'm afraid. Yes, Wenchi.
The Duchess of Kent.
The Duchess of Kent would not have been available to do this. She would not be there. I think the final effort.
Yes.
Oh, you started this one. Now, the man here was Lord John Hope. Lord John Hope. Now we'll end this with this question. Listen to this one. A constitution is the basic principles of laws of a nation, state, or social group that determine the powers and duties of the government and guarantees certain rights to the people, you understand, for whom it has been created. Now, the new Gold Coast Constitution of 29th March 1946 was a bold document. For the first time, the concept of an official majority was abandoned. How else was the Constitution, was this 1946 Constitution known? You understand? It had another name. How else was it known?
The Catholic Constitution.
Sorry? Apam?
It's not a palm. It's not a palm.
It's Damongo.
Damongo. Damongo. No, take it. Damongo. We are operating with rules, so you have to be very careful. Damongo. By what other name was this constitution known? And what do you say, Ikeshi?
1946.
I thought you mentioned an Ikeshi constitution.
Alabama Constitution 1946.
Sorry?
Alabama
The
Constitution.
Burns Constitution of 1946. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It was the Burns Constitution. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think that by the rules that they were entitled to answer the question, and so they have rightly done that the quick answer is in control, and chaos would certainly be avoided. End of round one.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votrasia at that time of the morning?
You want it served buffet style, complimentary breakfast,
On-site restaurant,
or room service?
we've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
It's learning time!
Hello parents, children and guardians. I bring you good news for kids in KG2 to B4. Remember the Ghana Learning Radio Reading Program? It is still airing. For the English lessons, tune into all GBC and community-based radio stations nationwide every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. The local language lessons are held on Saturdays 2 to 3 p.m. on your local GBC and community-based radio stations. Your favorite radio school teachers will continue to take you and your child through exciting, interactive, and easy-to-follow radio lessons. It is fun and educational. You don't want to miss it. Don't forget, Sundays 2 to 3 p.m. for English lessons and Saturdays 2 to 3 p.m. for local language lessons. Remember, COVID-19 is real. Stay safe while you continue learning. Don't forget to observe all the COVID-19 protocols and please facilitate enforcement by teachers in school. Ghana Learning Radio. Learn to read, read to learn on your local GBC and community-based radio stations nationwide. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education, GES, GBC, and supported by USAID.
Repeat on Tuesdays.
Hello viewers, this is a new season on Time with a Banker and Financial Advisor. This new season will throw light on market conduct of financial institutions in general and also the rise of the consumer. Watch Time with a Banker and Financial Advisor this and every Tuesday evening at 8:30 p.m. prompt with the host and presenter and banker Betty Ai.
Senior High Technical School has no point. Senior High School has 4 points. Damongo Senior High School has 7 points. And in the lead as at now is Wenchi Methodist Senior High School with 10 points.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, let's see whether we remain on top. Of the chance that we have here in the hall. This will be determined in the fullness of time. Round 2, question 1. St. Dominic Senior High School is yours. Now listen. This man was a governor. His surname, as we have indicated, was Burns. The Burns Constitution of 1946. Now, Burns had ACM as his initials. What do the initials ACM in the Burns name stand for?
Alan Cuthbert Maxwell Burns.
It is correct. But I thought I heard Burns. I think there is a little dichotomy between Burns and Burns. This one is like fire. Burn. Burn. Burns is middle. Alan Cuthbert Maxwell Burns. Now, you state the composition of the Legislative Council of the 1946 Constitution. I think you answered the Burns Constitution thing.
No.
Oh, but this is yours. Yeah. The composition of the Legislative Council of the 1946 Constitution.
12 official members and 18 non-official members.
12 official members.
Who is there? You have second. Anyway, I must indicate that for a major question, you have 2 chances. But the bell is gone. Apam.
12 official members and 9 unofficial members.
I disagree. Apam, Bramongo.
12 official members and 9 unofficial members.
But that is incongruous, you know. This 12 business. Yes, say Dominic.
Ex-official members, 6 nominated members, and 8 elected.
It is there. So this whole hullabaloo, as it were, of 12, it has been broken by St. Dominic Senior, and they deserve an applause. They deserve an applause. 12 members, but precisely there's 6 ex officio members, 6 nominated members, and 18 elected members. Again, it's yours. Listen. Sir Gerald Hallam Christie was a British colonial administrator. He served as governor of the Gold Coast, was born 1st November 1897, died 9th June 1983. Gerald Christie, apart from the Gold Coast, served as governor in another country in 1949, to be precise. Name this country.
Malta.
Malta! He served in Malta, ladies and gentlemen, and that gives them 3 points pursuant to the rules. Now, in September 1954, the National Liberation Movement was formed in Ashanti by cocoa farmers led by Bafo Osei Akoto to demand higher prices for their cocoa. Later on, politicians took over the NLM. Now, you mention all the 4 politicians who initially hijacked the NLM from the cocoa farmers. Cocoa farmers form their own something, and certain people, politicians, take it from them and transform it into a big political movement. Who were these 4 people in the forefront of this event? Yes, it's Wenchi.
Simon D. Dombo, J.B. Dankwa, K.A. Buzia, and Oforiata.
Oh, I disagree. You've mentioned 4 names already. I think that all these people are available in various, chapters in the political history of this country. But as far as this particular scenario is concerned, they are absent. Yes, Apam.
K. Buzia.
Is it Apam?
Yes.
Go on.
K. Buzia, Joe Apia, N.L. Welbeck, and Zenko Zenu.
I disagree. Yes, Damungo.
J. Ankra, D.A. Yakubu.
Oh, Damungo. That you bring in the Yakubu.
Joe Apia.
Who is talking? Yes, St. Dominic.
Joe Apia. Victor Usu. Kofi Abrifa Buzia and Arara.
All of you, I must congratulate all of you for a mighty performance on this occasion. All of you did well. You understand? The answers which were given by some of you were slightly dented, a little necrotic, and so on. But eventually, everything was straightened out perfectly and immaculately by these students from St. Dominic's Senior High School. Joe Apia. When you read the books, you'll come to find who he was. Mr. Victor Ousu, once stood for elections to be elected as president. R.R. Amponsa, and of course, Dr. Buzia, one-time Prime Minister of Ghana. Now, after the disturbances of the late 1940s, a commission of inquiry was established. What was the name of the commission?
Watson Commission.
The Watson Commission. The Watson Commission. Now, listen. You see, on June 12, 1949, following disagreement in ideologies, Kwame Nkrumah, he left the UGCC and formed a more radical and nationalistic party. What was the motto of the new party?
Self-government now.
Self-government now. And you have this accolade, or is the motto of remaining at the top. So you must remain at the top now. Self-government now. What's the name of the motto of the new party Kwame Nkrumah for? Apam, listen to this one. In March 1952, the first African government was established with Kwame Nkrumah as Prime Minister. Under which governor's watch did this take place?
Sir Charles Noble Aden Clark.
Who?
Sir Charles Noble.
Sir Charles Noble Aden Clark. Thank you. Sir Charles Noble Aden Clark. For 3 points, is it Damongo? Damongo. Listen, leading politicians, including Pa Grant and J.B. Dankwa, met in a historic meeting in Southport to form the UGCC. Now, you declare the date on which this Southport meeting took place, and moreover, mention any other two notable personalities who were participants of this meeting. You understand? So it's double-barreled. Yeah? First, tell me the date, the full date, and two people in the meeting. Who? Damongo. Yes, so start.
12 August 1947.
And the second part.
R.A. Auna. George Pa Grant.
I think you were trying to invent names, of this meeting. People who were not present at this meeting, you're commanding their presence. I would disagree with you. St. Dominic.
4th August 1947.
Yes.
V.B. Annan.
Who is Annan?
V.B. Annan and William Oforiatta.
That's correct. 3 points. No, 1 point. 4th August 1947, William Oforiatta Akufo-Addo, the father of the president, J.W. de Graaf Johnson, and V.B. Annan. Now tell me this for 3 points. Now, listen. Now, a year after independence, Ghana formed its own navy and shipping company. How was it known?
Black Star Line.
The Black Star Line! Thank you very much. It was the Black Star Line. Thank you. Now, for 3 points, is it Wenchi?
Yes.
Now, you know the Black Star Line, it was later named as the State Shipping Corporation. Immaculate performance. I congratulate you. But you for 3 points, Wenchi. Wenchi, are you still at the top?
Yes.
Wenchi, listen to this one. W.E.B. Du Bois doubtlessly occupies legendary status in Pan-Africanism. Now, what do the initials W.E.B. stand for in Du Bois' name? In Du Bois' name. W.E.B. What do they stand for? Where's Wenchi?
Williams Ebenezer Boache.
Oh, where does he come from? Or Wenchi?
Yes.
Oh, Boache Du Bois. Boache Du Bois is from Wenchi. No, we're not dealing with that personality. This one is Pan-Africanism. Yes.
William Edward Bugat.
Sorry?
William Edward Bugat Du Bois.
Burgat is correct. Osaji for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. First Prime Minister of the Gold Coast, first President of Ghana. When and where was he born? The precise village and the date of his birth. The full date of his birth and the precise village. Where was he born?
In Crawford on the 21st of September, 1909.
It's correct. 3 points. But I think that's 1909. 1909. Don't be afraid of the O. 1909 in Crawford. 1909. You'll not be arrested for this. It's correct. 1909. But you for 3 points. Down on go. We're dealing with Kwame Nkrumah. What was the name of his father? His typical Akan name. No?
Kofi Nguluma.
Yes.
Kofi Nguluma.
Yes, I wanted the full name. Kofi Nguluma. All the 3 names. Kofi Nguluma. Kofi Nguluma. I think you mentioned Inya. Kofi Nguluma, but Nguluma. Oh, you did not mention Inya at all. Kofi Nguluma. For 3 points, Nkrumah started school in a Catholic institution in Half a City. How old was he when he started school?
7 years.
7 years he was. Now is yours, what do you call it? Wenchi. Now, the members of the new GCC were made up mainly of lawyers, merchants, and the intelligentsia. If Dr. J.B. Dankwa was the leader, who was the elected president of the party? Wenchi.
George Alfred Grant.
George Alfred Grant. 3 points. As a result of the 1951 election, Kwame Nkrumah was released from prison to form a government. Who was the Speaker of the Legislative Assembly at the time?
Sir Akokosa.
I disagree with you. Second opportunity to redeem your image. But your image has not been destroyed anyway, don't be afraid. Yes, Diamond go.
Sir Charles Emmanuel Quest.
Sir Charles Emmanuel Quest. 1 point. You mentioned what name?
Sir Akokosa.
Oh, Akokosa. He was Chief Justice. Quest was the one in charge here. Now for 3 points. Now, who was the nominated and elected Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly? Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly. Damogo. Yes, sir. Yes, Damogo gone.
Dr. Fred Kwesi Fiawu.
Fiawu! Dr. F.K. Fiawu is correct. Now, in October 1920, yes, sir, the NCBWA sent a delegation to London to present a memorandum asking for self-government. Obviously, they were led. Who led the delegation to London? J.E.K. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, of course. This is a matter of very, very grand performance being exhibited by the schools on this very grand occasion. Now the performance is colossal. In the fullness of time, the quizmaster will pass his own comments. End of round 2.
Simcast wo mbo Ghana wa na te be register ba la Ghana card la. Ghana card la ma.
Ukanyang enge call, mobile money, internet, la yela zozo. Osanka register o simla.
Osambo to register o die *404# la ho dollar bama pale sela. Ba wa soko ho. O Ghana card la number. O soyure, o menga yure, o don dabere la ho de poka ko bura.
Bayambo special code total king service provider mina nlen ho. Ta deke ho nu din machines la point. O me han ye hotel la ho deke ho area la address king inde digital address la.
Di *404# la ho register ho simla na nanawa.
To sam botala ho bang la habar wa songa songa. O yi service provider la 100. Be NCA do my number wa 0800110622. Register ho sim card la na nanawa. La wa insane to mita hi da nerva.
What do you want? Money to change your life? A brand new car? Your own house? An all-expense paid vacation for the family? Whatever you want, just dial the short code and watch GTV. It's your lucky day. Lucky Day TV show. Coming soon.
Asim card zana be a Ghana person can register any a Ghana card. Yes, a Ghana card you take it.
Fokulaban to a mal call. Be kafo mobile money and have a SIM card kafumba register. Fokulaban dia ho SIM a any yeliza akpalang.
Kafuma bora kafu register for SIM card. Nadala *404#. Atu ayela ama banana sur afu phone po. Afu Ghana card number. Afu sayur. Afu mengayur. Afu baby dora. Aneka dollar for be kapola for.
Banakufula special code kan. Kafu dia code na Ghana for service provider de mezie. Kafa panti bar register for SIM card akufo.
Dale *404# afu phone po. Appeal afu SIM register azina.
Kafu abora kafu malim pierre yela yega. Funa bola afu service provider de me anamba ngapo 100. Chabe kafu bola atanga miringa po 0800110622. Free. Register afu SIM card zina. Anentu chele wono afu number yela.